Hello world! WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So, we have made a few more liquid conduits, some energy conduits. I somehow get them messed up sometimes, but anyways, we got the conduits. We'll be able to reinstate our rolling machine, so now it's going to be rolling along, and for some reason I had some items there. Place! There we go. Problem solved. And we got some energy. Now, as you can see, we are obviously a little lacking in energy for our systems. All of it is just taking a lot of energy. This biofuel production, well, it is going along, so that is fine, but obviously we are going to want a bit more than this. Now, what I'm thinking of is maybe we can see about making a destruction catalyst. Then again, let's see. Destruction catalyst takes so much stuff, it's unbelievable. Oh gosh. Blaze rods and etc., which will be a bit of an annoyance, especially if I'm trying to get them in this early of the game. So that thing is still going to be rolling around, will produce even more stuff. So what I'm thinking we're going to want to do in this episode is to construct some sort of system to, well, obviously we're not going to be able to have too much energy, but we will fix that sooner rather than later, hopefully. But what we're going to want to do is make some sort of automatic production of some very easy materials, such as some sand, cobblestone, and etc., smooth stone, bricks, and other stuff, so that A, we can pretty up our base once we get most of the minor details sorted out, and B, so that we can be generally awesome. I know. And also, another thing that I'd like to do is construct some sort of farm at the top. So we're going to need some ladders. So what I'm thinking I'll do is just set up a few ladders so that we can get some general purpose awesomeness going at the top of our domain. I'm thinking if we do that, we'll be able to set up some farms and it will be generally awesome. So, well, without further ado, let's actually get some serious stuff going on. Okay, one of the things that we're going to want, I think we're going to start with a manual farm. So one of the things that we will always want in a manual farm is some source of string. Now the reason we want string compared to other methods is the fact that, frankly, string in other ways is annoying. So for instance, spiders, they are a real pain in the keister. So we are going to try to avoid stuff like that. And also, honestly, it's one of the material that's used in a lot of applications, such as canvas bags and regular bags. And oh my gosh, you have so many bags, you have no idea. Also, it's not as fun as building some sort of hemp farm and then getting that stuff. So what I think we're going to want to do, assuming that the random number generator is kind, is that we'll get some hemp seeds, assuming that there are not other methods to get it. There we go. Now that we have some hemp, we can get rid of the corn kernels. And no, it's not the stuff that is a little illegal. It's the stuff that we're going to weave into other effects. So we're going to need to get some water. Obviously, that is going to be a major component of it and is one of the reasons we have a water bucket with us right now. Let's actually get out of there and have that stuff going. Now, let's see. There must be a better use for all this, but I can't think of any right now, so I'm just going to leave it be for now, and we'll worry about that later. So, I'm thinking the best use for all the real estate that is up top is to make some open world, so to speak, not mine, a farm. So if we just go up here, I'm thinking of installing a water break later so that it'd be a lot more useful. You can see that I just have a nice cleared off pad. It doesn't have any sort of formalities, so to speak. And one of the formalities that it is going to need is proper dimensions. So let's go dimension hopping a bit and get that going. And obviously I am kind of breaking the rule of what I wanted to do. What I originally wanted to do was be able to keep this mountain in its natural state. Obviously, that's not going to be an easy thing to do if I'm going to go industrial, but I can keep the general form factor and any odd protrusions I can rectify later. Anyways, let's go and clear quite a bit of farmland. Hopefully we don't get this trampled on, though there shouldn't be any stray animals, so just getting enough should work. And if we press F7, we should see that obviously it's working and that there are no areas that mobs can spawn here. So we should be alright, making sure nothing goes in the trenches. All that we'll have to be worried about is possible ninjas of mobs going there. So later on we can enclose this area. Not right now, but first let's get our first 2 bit of flax, since this is going to require quite a bit of time in waiting. So once we have that going at a reasonable pace, we'll be able to get some more string stuff. And one of the things I want to get that'll make things a lot easier are some seed bags. Seed bags, if we check quickly, I gotta make sure. Seed bags, here we are. They require canvas, which require a total of 40 string. If my quick mental math is correct, it is 40 string. So let's see. Let's get rid of some of the useless seeds that we are not going to find a use for quite yet. And we are going to need to have some better storage in the future. Maybe once we align this stuff with diamonds, we can worry about that, but I think that thing is going to be a little off, so I guess we can't really work on that. So we got a full thing of biofuel. This thing is shut off for all intents and purposes, so we are going to start climbing back up. So that is finally finished, and we have quite a bit of stuff. So there are a bunch of renewable resources that we're going to want to have. Cobblestone is the easiest one to create. Next up is sand, and we also have stone and some whatever that is, stone bricks, as well as circle stone bricks. So those are going to be quite useful in some decoration purposes, considering that my main building is with the stone variants. Now obviously it's going to require a bit to get all of that going at an optimal amount, but we have enough time and we have enough pistons, gold, and etc. to get at least a nice start on it. So how many things are we going to need? We're going to need pulverizer for one, so let's make another pulverizer. It's going to require some flint. Do I have some flint? I know I have flint somewhere. I just can't be bothered to look for it right now, but one of the things we're going to need is, if we have the right order, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't have the right, thankfully I have the right order for a change. So 7 frames should do us wonders for now. So we got 7 frames and we can keep these going, and also some redstone reception coils, making sure that we actually don't mess up ourselves with that. So some of this stuff is a little stupid to have in our inventory, so we'll not worry about that. Okay, got redstone receptants, and we know what the pulverizer recipe is. It'll just require a piston at the top, so we can get that. We can get the item frames. We're just going to need a bit of copper. I think we have some copper already pre-processed. Copper is probably our most plentiful resource right now, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. And all that we'll probably need to do is just grind up some of the gravel. I guess we can have a plentiful amount of flint as well by having all of this ground up. So a bit of flint. I'll take the rest of it out of the system so it's not clogged up in a bit. But flint and copper and we have one pulverizer to go. So this pulverizer will help a bit, and I wish that didn't happen, but oh well. So we got the pulverizer. I'm thinking we'll go with 2 furnaces. So if we check the powered furnace, automatic E furnace, that requires an electric furnace and a conveyor module, which requires aluminum or refined iron. So this is probably some automatic Greg Tech stuff. So let's look at that. Fiery pick for auto smelting. I don't think I'm at that stage. There's auto jukebox, auto extractor, auto compressor, recycler, e-furnace, wire mill, which I think is going to be useful in some of the recipes. It requires a diamond, so it must be useful in some amount, and an automatic macerator. I don't think any of those have any sort of speed boost, but let's actually check the furnace, which we were supposed to be checking. It requires some bricks. We must have some bricks in here. Yes, we do. And I doubt there's many uses of just plain bricks, so let's just make some non-plain bricks and put them together. Was it a piston? No, it's redstone. Redstone, copper, and the like. Blah, and there we go. So, what are some of the things that we can make with this? We can make some glass and some smooth stone. So now that we have those, we can get all of that going. So I'm going to sort my inventory rather quickly. Probably, yes, plank down a few more chests, since frankly we are going to need some chest area. And then once we get some more chests down, we can probably have a bit better of a time at it. Okay, I think we're good. We got misplaceable blocks. We're going to want to create some sort of unified storage unit. I think later on, once we get some of the simple stuff out of the way, such as all of this ore processing. So where are we going to want some sort of unified crafting area? I'm thinking it'd probably be best if we remove these machines. I'm not even going to think seconds of it. And we'll put these random machines into here, and we can use this area to just make some of the items that will be awesome. So let's see, we have a few items that we're going to need. We're going to need the pulverizer to pulverize all of the stone that we get, or at least as much of it as possible. So there's a few things that we're going to want. We're going to want sand to go into it, but we're also going to want to have some process for glass. So everything's removable, so what I'm thinking we'll do is, first of all, put the pulverizer up here. I'm thinking all of the energy will be at the back. So we have the pulverizer. The pulverizer will have an input of cobblestone, and it'll output both sand and gravel. Sand will have 2 locations to go to. It will have one, which is one of the concerns, of glass. It'll need to then go, that will need to go into basically a powered furnace to get all of that going. So we'll have a powered furnace as one of the primary inputs, and the input will be at the top, and it'll further output at another point in the assembly line. Number 2, let's see, this will also output gravel, which I think gravel will probably need another pulverizer to go out, unless we have any direct use of gravel. Is gravel used in anything directly? Grinding, that's how we create it. Use, please. Some alchemy, we can grind it, pulverize it, macerate it, rock crush it. No, so we don't have any use for gravel, therefore there's no point in actually keeping gravel. Anyway, so this stuff, can it output directly into a pneumatic tube? No, it cannot. We can either use diamond pipes, which can probably be a bit wasteful, or we can probably use some other method. So what I'm thinking, maybe we can take this off and put it here. We'll have a relay, and do we actually have any other way to do that? Let's go like so. and place this here and use our tubes to get stuff. So it'll output there and input into here. That'll be its primary area, but obviously it's going to need to have some place where all of the excess sand is going to need to go. So the excess sand, what it will need to do is basically be stored in a barrel. We have some barrel tops here. And do I have my oak with me? No, it's in the misc blocks. So let's get some of that and make 5 barrels. 5 barrels should be enough. Here we go. That will be all we need. And this barrels will be for the sand. Where will this power furnace be? This power furnace will output the sand. I hear a zombies. So let's kill that zombies first. Zombies. Who am I? I'm not. Why am I bothering saying zombies? It's like I'm crazy or something. Okay. Light up. Make sure there's no creepers. Oh, hello, creeper. It's like you knew I was gonna say hi. There we go. Okay, let's F7 this place up. Find out any sort of area where they can spawn. We don't want to hear the cries of zombies all night, therefore we will not. Now that we got that out of the way, so thinking. We can probably have another relay, though that's probably a bit wasteful considering where this is going to need to go. So we'll have the glass going out, and we can probably output it either to another relay, which is like that, or have some sort of buildcraft module. Where are we going to store all of this? That is one of our main questions that we're going to need to answer, because obviously there will need to be some sort of storage to get all this. So I'm thinking temporary storage here, and this will be our sand. And all it need to do is output it. Okay, that could work. Now if we say have the glass go like that, there won't be any way for it to go in. And what I'm thinking is maybe we will need to have some sort of, I think, filter, though that could take a bit of effort. And we probably need a bit more space than this for this to all work. So let me clear out a bit more of an area. Okay, now we should be able to get this a bit more compact now that we have most of the stuff that we are going to need. I don't think the barrel is more easily cut down by the axe. I don't think so, so I'm not going to bother with any of that flowery stuff. So let's move out slightly to about here so that we can get everything. We'll have some room in the back in case we need to get any messing wiring there. So we need to have sand and glass go into the barrels, so we need almost like a buffer and etc. So first of all, we're going to need to have the pulverizer. Pulverizer will have outputting all of that fancy stuff out. And then this will go into a powered furnace here. And then this will need to output as well. So first of all, we'll have this here. And then that'll supply the sand. And we'll also want to have some other methods such as this. And maybe you can have some easier way to do that without making... I must have made a screwdriver somewhere. Screwdriver, yes. There we go. This is going to be a bit more helpful. So that stuff outputs. We can have the tube go up like this. And if we have a transposer there, no, if we have a transposer, it's going to be even splitting. Suppose it almost doesn't matter if it's even splitting or not. So we might as well have that one transposer, and we got a few transposers, so we might as well use a few of them. So here we go, transposer right here. And this will provide even splitting. We should be okay with that. Nothing should get backed up. So this is where our barrels will be, and it will have our items that we need. So this will provide our sand and our gravel. Sorry, our sand and our glass. Our flint, on the other hand, is going to need to go into here, I think. Yeah, flint will need to have another pulverizer. And that pulverizer, I'm thinking, will go, and we're going to need to have this set so that it can't accept anything from the bottom. And we'll have a regular method. Oh, and there goes my Thaumium pick. I probably could have kept it, but honestly, it almost doesn't matter if I keep all the good items, so we're not going to worry about that. And let's get this in the meantime. I must have a diamond pick somewhere, but it's not too urgent, and we're only really just doing some idiot mining. So we can have a wooden extraction pipe, and I thought needed from the side as well, and we'll break open that as well. So the gravel will go into here. We need another pulverizer for that, so let's grab the composite, or rather requisite material for that. That's like this. And we need to get this and this. We free up a space as well where we're doing that. And we will need the flint that is also hiding away into this system. 3 flints, so if we need to, we can make another pulverizer to speed some processes along, though I don't think that's going to be necessary. Okay, so pulverizer, this is going to make our flint, and we can put it right there. And this will accept from the top. This will push to the bottom. And I think we might as well put this at top accepting as well. So we got that, we got that. It won't output the side. Rather, this will need to have it like that instead. I think that will be okay. There shouldn't be any secondary output for that. So we just need some simple, I think it requires a wooden pipe at the bottom to start off with, though I am not too sure. It almost doesn't matter. So I guess, the only problem I foresee is the fact that it might have some spillage. Though if it spills, we're not gonna, okay, that worries me somewhat. The fact that it's showing that it's inputting when it might not actually be inputting. So we're going to have to be wary of that. Though I suppose it doesn't matter quite yet. We can worry about that later anyways. So everything should be such that it should then be put into that relay and then go into the barrel. Here's a barrel, yay. Okay, so supposedly this system, when inputted with the cobblestone, should be able to accept everything. So as an extra safety precaution, we should make sure that all of the other areas where we don't really want stuff, such as the back, well, doesn't actually get stuff. That will be helpful. So we have a few points of power usage that is going to be necessary. So if you bring this stuff over here, it should be a simple enough endeavor of just powering it up like so. And I think that's pretty much it. So all that's left is that we're going to need to fill these barrels with the items that we are going to want in them. That can probably happen naturally, though let's see. Let's put a stack of cobblestone into here and see how it works. Make sure that none of the items, okay, so sand went into there. So it should turn, okay, sand goes there, so we get sand as the top one, glass as the second one. Should eventually get some flint into here, or rather some gravel to produce into flint. And it seems to be producing it at a good enough ratio for me. So if we just leave this thing running, we should just, well, do well. Now we just have to wait for the flint to tell whether it's actually going well or if it's going to be a nuisance in the future. So maybe we have some flint already, or rather gravel. Doesn't look like it. And how much of a draw is this? It's probably a huge energy draw on the system. It's not a huge draw, but it is going to be a bit of a problem in the future if stuff doesn't, You know what I mean, dang it. Well, considering that there's 64 stacks that it's going to have to go through before it gets to any sort of... Yeah, I think you can stop parts. Yeah, it's gonna be very, very, very fun. Okay, so the only things left in here to process is to get the ferrous metal and lead and etc. I don't think Invar you can really do much with anyways currently, so... Okay, so we got flint. It does work. Doesn't look like it's inputting into any part where it shouldn't, so we should be okay. So what I think we should do is just put a few machines here, at least our nice little induction furnace, since that is going to take a bit of our work, not our liquid transposer, but our induction furnace, or rather smelter. And once we put this down, we'll be able to also put our lead in here with our obsidian dust so we can make a few more things of that. Obsidian dust, pulverized obsidian. Not quite dusty enough for me, thank you very much. Okay, so throw that in, we can throw that in as well, and it should be fine, it won't go into anywhere. So, all that we really need into here is now some automatic method to get all of that fancy stuff. So if we look, another thing is going to be that. Okay, we got a powered furnace. Powered furnace is not what we need, but we're going to want to make one of those fancy block breakers, which I think, okay, is it day or night? Please be day. Please be day. You're not day. Okay, that is kind of sucky. Okay, so we'll make it day real quick, and then we'll go on to the next part of it, the block breaker part. So, let's go out and get that stuff organized real quick. So, we want to have a block breaker. And to do that, we're going to need to get some lava. And some lava we got right here. So, if we pump some of that stuff out, it's going to take a while, but let's just put our liquid transposer here, and if we get just a bit of energy into our liquid transposer, we can automatically transpose that stuff into a bucket. And we're also going to, well, it's going to take a while for that to retract outwards, so let's make a rock breaker, or let's see, breaker? Yeah, breaker. Breaker is really useful. Not an electric block breaker, but it's one of the fancy stuff. Oh, I know what we could do, which could be a little useful. Uses of machine frames will be able to get the item in lickety split. So no. Igneous extruder? Could be it. Yeah, igneous extruder should be good, so it needs a pneumatic servo, which we can serve right up. So let's get the servo up quickly enough. And of course, it's going to require a bit more hard of a... What the hell? Servo, please. Pneumatic servo, and of course it has to be like that, and well, as you can tell, I did mess up, so it's not like I can fault it for anything like that, but it's still annoying all the same. So, pneumatic servo, we're also going to need some glass at the sides, of course, and I think it's tin as the requisite material. Machine block frame, which we can gather. And this. And then all we need to do is get the other item, which we can once again check. I think it's a bucket. I could be wrong. What the heck? Ah, that's something else entirely. And it is a piston. So piston, here we go. Igneous extruder. This should be the right one. Let's place it and check it. Yes, it is. Okay, now that we know that it's the right one, let's take it up and throw it as, where do I put it? That will be a bit of a problem. Okay, so I don't really know where to put this for that. Yeah, we'll have it like that. So I think we can put it here and it'll have an output as its back and also the left side. And there we go. So we just need to, that is a powered furnace. There we go, a bit better. We can output there and there. That should be good enough. So we need to give a little love to it. So first of all, water. We got some water in its tank. Technically, that's all it needs, but you never know. I could pull an oops and just be really mad at myself later, so I'm not going to bother with any formalities such as that. And we need to get some lava, so first of all, we will need a bit of extra energy. That doesn't use any energy, so we won't need to worry about energy for that. So let's grab this quickly. And grab that. We have this. I don't think we're going to have any blow-ups, though I could be mistaken. I have no clue, honestly. Okay. Let's power this up. Yeah, that's good enough. And then we're just going to need to power this thing so that it produces the lava. There we go. It's not really close, so it's going to take a bit of time to get that. I think I was supposed to process the other dust in my inventory. So while that's going down, let's wait a bit. Okay, it seems like it's almost down. I want to make sure no creepers are going to attack me. So let's see, that should be good, and it should. Okay, we already pumped lava. So we got some lava here. All we're going to really need is a bucket of water. So do we have bucket? Yes, we do. Let's liquid transpose it in. And we got our lava bucket, making sure that we don't do an oops with it. Let's go out and warm up our engines again because they are cooled off a bit. Because frankly, the energy beam that was still in it was a little too freaky, though we haven't lost all of our heat, so we won't be horribly inefficient. Making sure I actually get it. Bam! There we go. Now it's going to be working, getting the cobblestone that we will need, and it will be available for future parts in here. So we can have an offshoot over here into another powered furnace when the need arises, which I think is going to be soon enough. Let's see, if we put it like here or right here, we can directly access it, and that should be good. So let's just put it there and have an input into here. And we should get some energy soon enough, unless there's just no energy. Obviously, there's no energy in the energy cell. So let's place it down, and then we can charge it up and start feeding the machines. Now we will need a bit more energy. Our energy supplies are obviously at a horrible minimum, and it is very scary. So we can then use the still, the biofuel produced from the still, to manage that, which will probably, maybe you can put it right here since it won't need anything else except some levers. Levers, I think we have enough of, so maybe you can have an individual area over there. Anyways, before we do that, we're going to need to focus on getting our stone saved in an area. Cobblestone, I'm thinking we should also have an area as well. So if we put a barrel here for our cobblestone, that should be definitely enough. Outputting bottom, good. Okay, so if we also have an output bottom here, we'll at least have some smooth stone going there. And if the need arises, we can have smooth stone going out the other side, and it should equally work. So I think that is pretty much the most compact we can have it for now. Maybe in the future we can work on it later, because that's also the future. And we may have some iron, some kinks we will need to work out on it. I don't think there will be any major ones. It should be able to self-repair, so to speak. But next episode, we're definitely going to want to get a combustion system. Perhaps move this area, but definitely move the liquid to some area over there so we can have an independent energy area over there. I think that should be good. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. I'm wondering if our hemp is well grown. I could use some right now. Wave time here. Signing off. Not even close. Have a wonderful day.